What's happening, everybody? Here we are. Too Much Fantasy Football. It's Brian and Brennen, off-season edition. We are recording in the midst of the NFL Combine. Here we go. It's underwear Olympic time as the actual Olympics is coming to an end. Brennen, how you doing today?
I'm in day 7 for Lent of giving up soda, and I hate my life. So,
ooh, yeah, that sounds pretty terrible.
well, when you quit cigarettes for soda, because that's the smartest thing to do while you got habits like that. Not fun.
No way. I'm never giving it up. I can't. You know what I gave up, folks? I gave up losing in fantasy football for Lent. And luckily, I won't have to play a game until Easter. So, it's a win-win for all of us here.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah. But we're here to fix the West. We fixed every division or direction of divisions, I guess is how we're looking at it. But yeah, we fixed them all. North, South, East. Here it is, time for the West. But before we do that, we got some news. We got some news. Everybody, it's, ears to the ground season there at the Combine. We've got rumors going left and right, and it sounds like the Browns are going to have an open quarterback competition. Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it with 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks? Well, I guess one of them they traded away, but yeah, Shedeur Sanders. How are they going away from that?
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, he dominated, and he's a Pro Bowler. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing? Come on. Like, yeah, this is expected. I don't. Who do you have coming? Who's your QB1 for the Browns? I think mine's Watson. I honestly think it's Deshaun Watson starting.
I don't think it's QB1. I think kind of similar to this year, it's going to be 3 or 4 guys. Yeah, it's going to be like 5 or 6 games at a time. You really think Watson can make it the whole season without?
Oh, I'm not saying. I'm saying he's going to be there week 1. That's what I'd base off.
Dude's got like negative 200 on karma points. This man will never make it like another month in football again without popping something. Yeah. It's hard to expect. And like there's talks of them looking to add to this quarterback room, whether it be via day 2 or day 3 in the draft or via free agency. Like Kirk Cousins, you still got a chance to show up. He just got cut, so it's just a hot mess.
Yeah, I have no words. Again, I think they'll be one of my lowest drafted teams. Like, I like Judkins, but again, I think it'll be kind of similar towards like they shut him down, they force somebody else to throw. Like maybe, everyone's expecting Carnell Tate to be there. Like, who knows? It could be a different, outlook with Todd Monken, but that's not my thinking.
I think if we can be fortunate enough that Harold Fannin stays consistent, I think we call it a win for the Browns this year. Because honestly, Judkins seems more appealing from a best ball mindset, just because it's going to be hot or cold. He's going to be just like a Derrick Henry light. When it's great, he's great, but when the game script isn't in his favor, he's going to get shut down. He's going to be, 50 yards or less with no touchdown. And that hurts.
Yep. That definitely does hurt.
You know what else hurts? Being Joe Mixon. Because do we know what's going on with this situation? No. Does the GM know what's going on? No. Is he going to be on the team this fall? No. But
yeah, no, this is a Texans GM Nick Caserio on Joe Mixon. We've talked to Joe. Honestly, it's day to day. I think he had surgery this offseason. We'll see what the prognosis is for the season. We'll try to figure out what ultimately makes sense. Doesn't sound like he'll be a part of the team. I think they're taking somebody as a bruiser. I think Woody Marks cannot be a bruiser.
Yep. And
I would sell high on Woody Marks right now, honestly.
Same, 100%. He feels very. Who is the running back they had several years ago? Pierce.
Yes, it was Pierce. Damian Pierce.
Yeah, very similar situation. You drafted him in your 2nd, 3rd round in your rookie drafts. He did great for you that 1 year, but the value's kind of lost. It's going to be hard to trade him away. You don't want to trade for him, so it's one of those. You're happy with what you got, but he's probably going to die on your roster. Yeah. Speaking of dying, it seems like Malik Neighbors' legs has just died. We're hoping he's ready for camp. Is the rumors floating around town? Kind of freaking out, trying to hold steady. You never know.
I remember he had a toe issue. I hope they got that taken. Remember like how at the end of the season, like, he had like a toe thing that was going to linger. He needed surgery, but he could play through it. Like, I really hope they fix that too. So I hope he's just coming in 100% healthy.
Yeah. Come on, Malik. You got this. Yeah. Okay, folks, the drama. So as the Eagles season came to an end, we found out that I guess A.J. Brown had requested a trade at least 2 times, if not 3 times throughout the season. I really thought he was going to be gone, but as we kind of got out of the the 2025 season, I was like, you know what? There's no way it's happening. There's no way it's going to happen. AJ Brown's locked in with him. Now it's starting to look a little tumultuous again. I think it depends on how you read the tea leaf. I'm maybe just optimistic that he moves on, but how are you feeling about the situation?
I think he stays. It's $45 million dead cap. They save $7 million in cap space if they do like move on from him. But I just, again, like I think the Eagles have the best GM. I think if he does get rid of him, he's going to want something back in return that is of value of AJ Brown. And I just don't see that like floating around.
And going as of now, the Eagles have a negative $52 million against the cap already in 2026. So adding another, would you say 40 million to that?
45 dead mill cap. Yeah.
45. That put them at about 97 million is where they'd be. You'd be with the likes of, honestly, that'd be more dead cap than the Jets, who have 91. $91 million in dead cap going into next year. That's absolutely atrocious. Kyle Pitts, bam, tagged, coming back. It's going to be the tight end 1 this next year with Kevin Stefanski.
I have like ebbs and flows with this, right? Like 6 touchdowns is incoming this year. So if the line's at 5.5 for touchdowns, you bet because he's going to get 6.
Yeah.
It's how his career has gone. My other problem with this is that, do you know how many points he averaged with Michael Penix in a full point PPR?
4.
9 over 10 games.
Oh, it's not great. It's not great.
I'm not going to be on him this year. I think he's one of those, like, I think it's trap. I think it's trap player. I'm calling it right now.
Because of the ADP, I believe I'm going to have very minimal exposure to him. I'm going to try and take a few shots, but he's going to play right into the zone that we say, I don't like drafting tight ends. And unfortunately, we're going to miss out.
I think I might have like a 1% share in best ball. Like, I think I just will try to avoid him at all costs.
I think it's going to depend a lot more, too, on the news of Michael Penix and the development of that. Who's the other quarterback they bring in there to potentially aid the first month, 6 months, depending if or
and
6
watch,
months,
it's going to be so good with that quarterback, whoever they bring in, and they bring in Penix, and it's just like,
we trade him away.
What do we do now? Like,
what else do we have? Javonte Williams. Congrats, buddy. After a down career or a down contract there with the Broncos as that came to a close, goes to Cowboys, does really well, and finds himself with a 3-year, $24 million, 16 guaranteed. It's not the most life-changing money as far as NFL players goes, but for running backs, it's good. It's some good stuff right there.
High-end RB2, I think that's where I'll keep him at. I think like you're not upset if he's your RB1. Like,
you got some studs at other positions if he's your wide RB1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not like truly upset if he's my RB1.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think there's potential for him to be up there. Mm-hmm. We haven't really seen too much of an injury concern with him outside of the ACL tear, so I imagine he should still log the top amount of games, and that alone, could propel him as a top 12, top 14 guy pretty easily.
Yeah.
We got some sad news over the weekend. Rondale Moore, was he 5 years in the NFL, 4 years in the NFL? Unfortunately, no longer with us. It stinks when we see these players go, especially when you see them go this early. Players are not, I guess, just people in general. So, RIP, buddy. We'll see you in the football game in the cloud. I don't know. I'm bad with death. I make jokes at funerals. I'm not good with stuff like this.
It just reminds people are human, even if they're pros and they make millions of dollars. It doesn't mean their life's the best. So, I think
and they don't give a shit about your fantasy team. So don't go and tell them. Don't hop in their DMs telling them how you screwed up and you picked the wrong over-under or you played them incorrectly. That's your fault, folks. That's your fault. Yeah. Get off the fellas. And the last little bit we have here, Tyreek Hill released. And it's going to be an interesting offseason here because I think we're already establishing a side over here on Team Brian. I think Tyreek's done. I don't know if he plays this year. Brennen's still got a little hope here. A little hopium he's smoking.
I think he's going to get a Odell Beckham contract, like a 1-year, $16 million deal.
And I think he's going to perform like Odell Beckham.
I think he'll do better than I would take a bet right now that he does better than Odell Beckham's Ravens year this year. I would for sure take that bet.
I can't wait till lines start coming out. Season lines. I'm taking the under on everything Tyreek Hill has.
Now I really want to know what his line was at for the Ravens. Little Beckham Junior Ravens stats.
Oh no,
But
look
yeah,
at
no.
Beckham with Miami the last year. That
Okay,
was
he's for sure beating this. First off, fuck you for even disrespecting Tyreek Hill. 35 receptions, 565 yards, and 3 touchdowns in 14 regular season games. Tyreek Hill blows that out of the water, and I'll take any bet right now.
all right. First bet of the season, folks. We're sticking it on the board.
Unreal.
I can't wait. All right, it's time. We got to fix these teams. Let's go to the AFC first. Like I said at the beginning, we're doing the West. We'll start with the number 1 team here in this division with $27 million going into free agency, the Broncos. What are we doing here with this team? What's up?
Is it just like we all predicted them to win the AFC West? Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. We're going to have to get to 3 teams before we even talk about the Chiefs in this division. Absolutely bonkers.
I think for them, like, they have a little bit of wiggle room. Their defense is kind of like locked up for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. They don't have any like real key guys are losing this year. I think you need to get somebody partnered up with Bo Nix right now.
AJ Brown. What?
Jalen Waddle, just like something. I think just something. I think like you need somebody because like if you go into the year with Cortland Sutton, like I like Pat Bryant, you like him too. We're not really sure what to do with Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. It's just such a weird like you need somebody there. It's kind of like it could be a really good counterpart to Cortland Sutton. I think Jalen Waddle. I was on the fly of a name, but I think it'd actually work out really well.
I some of our on the fly stuff, it's hit or miss, but that one I really like the idea of that. Bo Nix was throwing, I mean, one of the worst deep balls all last year, but there's regression. There's regression coming back to the mean on that one. So I think Jalen Waddle in that offense would be spectacular.
Yeah.
You take Cortland Sutton behind the shed, you do what you got to do. What else do we need to do with this team? We need to bring in a running back in free agency. Whether J.K. Dobbins comes back, I know he's expressed interest in coming back, but somebody like Brian Robinson, I think, would go really well to kind of aid R.J. Harvey and the things he does well on this team.
Yeah, because I don't think he gets a bigger contract than Javonte, so like he'd be a cheap, get him a couple of years, bruising back type. Like even like another name we didn't talk about, like Algier. I think Algier would be
I like
really interesting here. Yeah.
Yeah, something like a 2-year, $12 million for B-Rob, something like that seems like what you could get. And then draft a tight end. We talked before the show, like Evan Ingram, they could save $4 million if they cut him. I believe he's $12 million against the cap if you keep him. So it's not a lot of savings to get rid of him, but like, do you really want to keep him just for the roster? Like where is he in his career at the age? I believe he's 32 or will be 32 by the time the season starts. So let's get that tight end in here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because like I liked him a lot going into the year. I was like, oh yeah, Sean Payton's going to utilize him. That was not the case at all. I don't know what to do anymore with Sean Payton. So
it went from the Joker tweet to us looking like the joke. It was.
I was a joke. I liked Evan Ingram a lot. He was one of my top drafted players in best ball, and that really hurt.
Look, I've been throwing it out with just about every time we fix a team. But can we get this man? Can we get Sean Payton his Taysom Hill back? Let's go trade for Anthony Richardson. Let's go trade for A-Rich, baby.
That's too much.
Fine. Too much. All right, let's go to the Chargers then. Would you believe it if I told you the most money out of all the teams we're going to talk about today is with the Chargers? $87 million they have to spend. And that's with their quarterback on a big-ass contract. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, this is a team where like I told you before, it's you get the wants before you get the needs. Like go get just add to that defense. The defense is great. You lost Minter, so now it's going to look a little different with the play calling, but like you need to capitalize with the guys there. Obviously they need to address the offensive line. If that meant like I live in Southern California, so I am surrounded by a decent amount of Chargers fans, and every single one of them have like jokingly but seriously said like if they took 7 offensive linemen with all their picks, I wouldn't be upset. I genuinely wouldn't. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, and spend $87 million on the defense.
Yeah,
because they're losing Khalil Mack. They're losing some big names some big pieces.
He might come back.
I think he could. But they definitely have some to patch up that defense. Defense played well last year. I think they might have played a little better than their actual roster was.
Yes.
So let's cement some of those like questionable pieces, maybe the guys that overplayed their position a bit. But get Keenan Allen the hell out of there. Love Keenan, huge fan. He's been great, but like it's time. Like, open the freaking floodgates, man. I need some Lad McConkey back to where he was. Trey Harris, I'm a big fan of that. And then Rondé Gadsden. Like, aren't we all just excited for that to happen?
No, I think your Keenan thing is unfortunately not going to happen. I think he's like
Party Cooper.
He's a couple hundred yards short of being like the all-time receiver for the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's like something that probably means something to him. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think
fine.
I think Keenan
NBA does
might
15.
stay.
Does the NBA is like 15-day contracts? The NBA does.
Yeah,
Give
10-day
Keenan Allen
contracts?
2 of those. Give Keenan Allen. Be like, you got September. September, we're cutting your ass. You break that record in the first month, but October, you get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Bob, but I think
man.
I do like their pieces, though. I think you and I are both really excited about like Trey Harris. I think he's undervalued currently at this very moment.
Yeah.
But I like Gadsden a ton. I think he's a little bit undervalued. I think the Chargers offense is. I don't think the McDaniel effect has officially hit the ADPs for best ball, which is great for me. So,
which is like I've already kind of announced myself as I feel like I'm kind of out on some Chargers this year, but it's because I thought the pieces and the reactions would just be out the wazoo, and I don't know if we've just had so much offensive coordinator / head coach, like so much movement that it's kind of getting a little lost because the hype's been spread out so much. But like I don't know why we're not having these outrageous takes already that like Herbert's going to be the MVP or this offense is going to be top 3. And, like I feel like I'd be hearing more of this clamor, but it's
he's more fun to take a dig at because he's not won a playoff game. And like, I think a lot of people like to view him as like the media's like safe child, poster child, like can't take a dig at him. And like, I think he had plenty of digs, but like I stand that like he had a really great season and like I didn't expect him to do anything in the playoffs because the offensive line was so bad.
I didn't expect him to make the playoffs if we're being honest.
That's true.
Like
like
he was playing kind of like Drake May in the Super Bowl. Like did Drake May play great? No, not really. But should he have been there? Most likely, like all in all, like in a vacuum, no. That team shouldn't have been there. But they were, and because they earned it, just like the Chargers. Should they have been in the playoffs? Probably not. But they earned it. They got there, and it just didn't work out. As far as like franchise, like take out fantasy football, franchise quarterbacks, how high would Herbert be for you?
Like if there is like a pool of all the
draft,
quarterbacks,
you're going to draft your quarterback. All of them are available. Like,
okay, let's just rip off the
Josh Allen. You want him first?
I think I think of like talent wise, like obviously it's hard. I'm taking Mahomes first.
Yeah,
I'm taking.
You got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
Herbert jokingly gets taken second a lot, and I honestly would. It's between him and Allen. So like Herbert's probably 3 at like maybe 4 because I think it's hard to pass up on Lamar. I think Herbert's 4th.
I think because of Lamar's age and like honestly, it's hard to make this argument or try and put this out there because of how well he's thrown the ball the last couple of years. But like you start to look at these rushing quarterbacks as they dip down sooner than your average quarterback. But like, yeah, I think Herbert is easily in the top 5 as far as like franchise quarterbacks who you'd want. Like he's still young, he's still in his 20s. Cool. Let's go to the Chiefs. Let's talk about this one. All right, let's go to this third place team, and I never thought I'd say it. We're going to be talking about the Chiefs here in the third place for the West. Negative $6 million right now, so they still have to get cap compliant. I think, what was it, like $40 million they saved with a signing bonus to Patrick Mahomes, and they're still negative 6 in the hole?
Yeah, like Jawan Taylor can be cut, I think, and he'll help. They have some places where they definitely can pull like the Saints operation, just kick the can down the road and kind of, maneuver that. And I think Mahomes is more than willing to do that right now. 100%. Obviously, giving up $40 million, obviously, he's still going to get that money sometime, just not right now. I think this team definitely needs to spend because they just can't fix this entire team to the draft.
No, they still, I mean, granted, they've got great draft spots and where they're taken, in the top 10 in each round. That's awesome. But this team, they need a little TLC. So that's what we're here to fix. Look, the fantasy Twitter, the fantasy wherever you are in your social media, I think everybody's screaming, "Get the running back! Get the running back!" Since the Rashee Rice news has come out, I think it's take a wide receiver, take a wide receiver. But the highest hit rate on an NFL player outside of the first round is the wide receiver. You can find those elsewhere. I say take the day 2 wide receiver. Let's get a trenches player. Let's get a tackle. Let's get an edge rusher. Something here in this top 10 pick with them.
Yeah, like I don't think they're gonna get the number 1 guy from, I think it's Miami. Francis Moyaga is like the touted guy. I think is gonna go number 1. I mean, like maybe they could if there's ever a time for you to trade up and get a perennial guy, like if they wanted to, like trade with Cleveland.
Yeah,
and like make them move back because again, they still need to fix some things and they can get extra capital. Like, go get Spencer Fanu from Utah. Go get the guy that like is going to be the anchor for you on the right or left side, because they did well with their last pick, their first round pick last year. So they just, again, Mahomes tore his ACL. So like, obviously he's human. He needs to be protected at all costs. So like build around him. And I think if you can give him time, he will make magic. We've seen it for years now.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. So we got a tackle in the first, probably a wide receiver in the second. My third thing I want to throw out here, Travis Kelce, we haven't gotten any official word whether he's coming back or not. If he does or doesn't, I don't know how much of a weapon he truly will be. Let's make a trade. Let's trade for Michael Mayer. He's coming up on the last year of his deal. He is supplanted as the number 2 option in the tight end room behind Brock Bowers. Go kick the can. See what that'll cost you.
Probably a 4th, I think. Like 3rd. I don't know. He's really good. It's just obviously there's a guy that's a lot better than him. It's in front of him, and there's nowhere for him to go. So
yeah, I think it's a great fit here. Give them another pass catcher because clearly they can't figure out the wide receiver position at all. Rashee Rice, I guess we'll call that a hit, but it has been miss after miss after miss with, I guess, Worthy. Would you call Worthy a bust already just because of the draft capital they spent on him at this point?
This is the year that they kind of have to see, like, what is it that Worthy just like the fact that like last year he broke his collarbone right on like the first game and against your own player, and it just kind of wasn't really the season you'd hoped out of him. Like, I don't want to say he's a bust just yet, but he wasn't worth that price, right? I think him and Keon Coleman were in the same draft class, right?
Yeah,
because they traded with
the
I mean, like, your options weren't that great, I guess. So
it was Lad McConkey really was the only one in that realm, because there was also Xavier Legette that went within those 4.
Yeah.
And, so like, yeah, they were all reaching.
Yeah. But Lad with the Chiefs would have been interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess anything else with the Chiefs here?
Yeah, I'm curious because like they're interested in the running back market. I know everyone wants Jeremiah Love to go to the Chiefs. Like, who wouldn't? Like, if you have the number 1 overall pick in Dynasty, you are just like Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs. Like, please God, because then it would solidify it. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I can't see that happening with the Chiefs. That's just, I know that's a funny thing too, is because they're kind of in a position where they can do that, because they weren't expecting to be a top 10 pick, and now they can luck into who I think is the second most talented player in this draft. I think I have Caleb Downs as number 1 in my book.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It almost feels similar to the Lions Bengals situation with, do you take Penei Sewell and protect Joe Burrow and throw to any guy, or do you not take the lineman and you take the best wide receiver? Like that. I think if you take another tackle, you can go put any running back behind you, and you're not going to obviously get Jeremiah Love, but you can go get. I mean, names I'm drawing a blank here, trying to pull one out of the thin air, but like a Brian Robinson, a Tyler Algier. Go get one of those. And if you've got another top 10, or if you add a top 10 tackle on there, you're probably going to get similar results.
I agree. Yeah.
Kenneth Walker, maybe.
I think his price tag is going to be a little high. I'm very curious to see, like, he's probably going to be like a 10 to 12 mil AAV.
Yeah, Patrick, grab that can, hand it to Butker, and punt that motherfucker down the road. Who cares? You got Whataburgers out there in Kansas City. You're making money. You're doing great.
I don't know if Butker's going to be on the team next year.
He
was awful. No, but he was just awful. Like,
you talking about as a human being or on the field?
Well, both. Like, he was not a good kicker. It is crazy. Like, the downfall happens.
Did you see? I mean, side note, folks, we're getting a little sidetracked, but like Butker, I believe, is the highest paid kicker at $6.5 million. Brandon Aubrey's looking for $10 million a year.
Kind of deserves it. Kind of deserves it, if I'm being honest.
But the fact that Javonte Williams will be making less per year than a kicker just hurts me.
Does Javonte kick 65-yarders accurately?
Have we asked him to?
This is true. We have not asked him that. But I'm going to go with no. Honestly, like Aubrey, like you, like lock him up long term, man. Just get it over with. Like again, the cap just went up. Like I don't think the only other kicker I think that's like in the contention of getting paid there is the Jaguars kicker, and they have him under control for another 3 more years. So that's so far down the road. Like, just get it over.
Little's going to be asking for some Aubrey money in a couple years.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Raiders. Last one we have here in the AFC West. $87 million to spend. We have a lot of different directions we can go here, but like I think we're taking chalk here. We're just going to take Mendoza with number 1.
Yeah, like we were trying to be cute, like, you know, trade out of it. But like, again, like this franchise, like if you're the GM, I think you'd understand the pressure of it. And like I think fan does come into a play of it. Like they haven't taken a quarterback in the first round since Jamarcus Russell. And obviously that was just.
Yeah, we need to get past that point. So
maybe we need to get past that. And like you watch Mendoza, he's just a likable guy. And I think he can be a good quarterback in the NFL. And I think Clint Kubiak is a good person to build around. I think if they have the decent pieces around him, like they have, you know, a bona fide stud at tight end. Ashton Genty, I think, is very good. I think it was just a bad line play. So he has guys he can kind of rely on. If he can just go get another person next to him, I think he'll be in great hands.
They've got an interesting chance to break another streak as well. They do take Mendoza and they don't fire Clint Kubiak. That'll be the first overall quarterback that hasn't had a coach fired in his rookie season for quite some time. So that'll be interesting to see if they break that mold. I mean, at this point, like they got so much money, they need to throw it out there. I don't think there's really a wide receiver. It seems hard for them to really come by a wide receiver that they could spend money on that they should. So I say spend a lot of that money on building the O-line. You know, you have a great piece between Genty, between Brock Bowers, Jack Bash, maybe, and then Mendoza. You just got to protect him. So I say you spend some cash. Lindenbaum, I think you need to start flashing that money. See if you can get him out of Baltimore somehow.
Yeah, I don't think Lindenbaum's leaving. So I do think they need to build in the trenches, though, because we're going to talk about their next segue of like, you know, possibly a guy who's asked for a trade and, you know, the Raiders want 2 firsts for him. I think you and I kind of are like dabbling on like the idea of like, what would he take for Crosby? And like, I think, you know, you and I both said it, trading Max Crosby for T. Higgins and Shamar Stewart and a 2027 first. It kind of like, you know, it makes sense for both sides if I'm being honest. Like T. Higgins is a stud. I get it. Everyone has their issues with him because he's injured and, you know, Brian's favorite head coach in the NFL will play him when he's not supposed to be played, when he's got bad hammies, but like, that's not T. Higgins' fault. Like that's just, you know, gamemanship. So
honestly, we were kind of, I was trying to force in almost this Crosby trade and we started poking and playing. I think this one turned out pretty well as far as just like hypothetical, like, yeah, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, it's wonderful. It's great. But that's a luxury the Bengals can't afford right now. Their defense is crap. Their offensive line's crap. They need to make moves to acquire more pieces. And I think this would be great. You get in Crosby to fix Hendrickson because Hendrickson is going to be walking in free agency. You get rid of Shamar Stewart, who might have been just an absolute bust of a pick. And then you get a little hopefulness with the 2027 first. You know, maybe the Raiders just, really come out well with the Bengals pick. Maybe it's sub 20, but at worst, you're going into the 27 draft that has so much hope and hype behind it that you have 2 firsts in it. So I think it looks great.
Yeah, I think the Raiders asking for 2 firsts and a premier player or like a semi is just a little bit rich for me.
But that's how bargaining works. You got to overshoot what you're willing to take. So yeah, I think it makes sense here. I think it's pretty decent value.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think the contract money kind of lines up because T is making like 30 million.
It's pretty decent money. I think it starts ballooning soon, but yeah, he's making some good money.
And I think the salaries kind of match. So,
and both these teams have money for days to spend. So really, that should be no object for them. Nice. Anything else with the Raiders before we head to the NFC?
No, I think that's it.
Sweet. Let's start with your Super Bowl champs. It's the Seattle Seahawks, and not always something you see here, but they've got $63 million in cap. Granted, They've got
Yeah, I can't remember the last time a Super Bowl champion had like an exponential amount of cap space. Because the story always goes, a team that wins the Super Bowl, they always poke and poach from the winning team because that's just how it always is. And I think the Seahawks are going to be able to run it back and keep a lot of young pieces on defense.
Yeah, like look at New England on the other side. Like, granted, they've got about $37 million. It's not too bad because they've got that rookie contract. But they paid out the nose last year in free agency to build this team to go in there. And the Seahawks, luckily for them, they've drafted incredibly well over the last 4-ish seasons. Now, with that comes you got to pay your guys that you drafted really well. So I imagine that's where most of the $63 million is going to go. So that's going to be the first and the biggest piece. Yeah, pick up those young pieces. Make sure you're paying those guys, bringing them back. JSN is open for an extension at this point. The secondary absolutely needs to be retained.
Yeah, I think Tyreek Woolen's going to be the one that walks. I think they've obviously he was on the trade. He was on the trade deadline, and then obviously that Rams game almost cost him. Like, I think they just were like, "Hey, thank you. You've done great. You won the Super Bowl, but it's like go do your own thing." Because I think McDonald sees another future elsewhere for his defense. It's like Job, and then they have like Jones. I think they got to pay those. I think those are like their top 2 priority guys. I think they really want to pay, and then obviously JSN.
Yeah, they've got quite a few things they need to address here, and I you know what, John Schneider, he's done it before. Just a decade ago, he built the team well, and I think he's kind of right back to his heyday. So
yeah,
bringing in a running back, it sounds like Kenneth Gainwell won't be tagged. I haven't actually heard anything that specifically that
Ken Walker.
Ken Walker. What did I say? Kenneth
Gainwell. Yeah.
That's where he should be going. No, absolutely not. So I think there's a slight chance that they re-sign him. I think it's just a higher chance that he gets re-signed over him getting tagged. But most likely they're going to have to fix that. So they need to bring in a running back. Charbonnet should be back at some point, probably like mid-ish season.
I think he's done. I think he misses the season, if I'm being honest. He tore it like this divisional or the NFC Championship game?
Well, they got the bye, so it would have been... No, it wasn't the championship. I think it was the second round.
Yeah, it was the divisional rounds, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I had bring in J.K. Dobbins, but if we're under the impression that we might not get Charbonnet, they need to do a little bit more than just J.K. Dobbins.
I think they're drafting a running back. I think it's going to be I don't know, like this. Like, he took Ken Walker and then he took Charbonnet in the second round again. Like, he's not afraid to take a guy he likes. Like, I can definitely see them being a day 2 guy, getting a running back, and then they bring in like a vet. Like, we talked about like J.K. Dobbins kind of makes sense. He's a cheap flyer. He's going to get a ton of snaps. They can utilize him to the max. That's how you kind of should treat running backs like that.
And he's now 4 years removed from the torn Achilles. So, like, come on, man. You got to be back to normal now, JK. Yeah. And this draft class is getting a lot of flack, especially the running back position, that we don't have studs on studs on studs. We got Jeremiah Love, and then it kind of falls off. But I don't think it falls out purely from talent. It falls off purely from us having a 3-down back. Like, there's some big fellas in this draft as far as running backs. They might not catch a lot, but they got some big thumpers. And on the other side, you've got your Jaden Blues, your Woody Markses, your pass catching back. So I think that this would work well. Hey, you go get one of these. Hell, maybe they draft 2 running backs. You never know, because Charbonnet, this will be the last year on his deal coming up.
Is it? Yeah, that's right. He is. He'll be a free agent.
Which, he may get the Christian Watson role, kind of how, he tore his ACL going into his final year. They kind of gave him a 2-year extension to, like, all right, get healthy, and then we'll reassess when you give us a solid season. So maybe Charbonnet gets a little extra money to guarantee him for 2027. But, Seattle, let's bulk up that running back room.
I think we're both under the impression that Shaheed walks. I think...
Most likely, yeah.
I think he's going to get it bagged, dude. I think he's going to get like $20 million a year.
He is praying that Alec Pierce does not hit the market so that he is now in that top 3 conversation.
Yeah.
That'd be him, Dobbs, and I don't remember the other one.
Tyreek, Debo.
Yeah. Mike Evans. Nice. Anything else with the Seahawks?
No, that's it.
Sweet. Let's head on down this list to the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, the Rams. They're running it back with Matt Stafford. It's weird that we have to check on Sean McVay every year, but ever since that year that he scared us when he was coming back, he's going to knock on the door. Hey, Sean, you coming back, buddy? We're still good, right? Not going to hang out with Aaron Donald. But they've got $44 million I think this is time. They have 2 first-round picks this year too.
They do, and they can kind of go in a lot of ways, right? Because they take the Falcons pick at 13. You know, they can kind of draft here either the want or the need with this pick or their other picks. Like they're in a really good spot. I think you and I both discussed like you probably need to take a wide receiver here. Like Devontae this is probably his last season. You're gonna have to pay Puka what, 40 million if I had to imagine.
He's going to be getting Jamar Chase plus money.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and this what ties into the Seahawks. I think you want to beat paying him before you pay JSN. I think you want to like do what the Vikings did before to piss off, like, hey, we paid Justin before Jamar. Like, I think this needs to be kind of a similar situation between the both of them.
Drake London also is going to be in that conversation as far as being extended. The Falcons need a little cap alleviation, so I don't know if he's quite on that level of paycheck, but him getting re-signed before those other 2 could just throw more wrenches into this whole operation. So, it's one of those get it done sooner than later kind of a situation. So, I'm right there with you. Let's redo that. Let's get one of these wide receivers. There's so many good wide receivers in this draft. Maybe not the stud of studs, but
quality guys.
Quality players.
I look at them as like all like good, solid wide receiver 2s.
Like we could be looking at 4 to 5 guys going in the first round. I think that's an automatic 3 that's been projected. But like
Cardinal, Tate, Tyson, Lemon, and I'm missing. Who's the 4th?
I like Denzel Boston. He's up there in that conversation.
He's one of the ones that good at the end. Yes.
He's up there. He's not quite as projected up as me. He's a little farther. But guys, when you look at his measurables, he's a big fella, and I'm a sap. I grew up in the 2000s watching football, so like I'm a sap for the big, giant wide receivers. But yeah, like kind of like we did with actually JSN's draft class. I think he went 20th, and then it went like
QJ, and then Zay Flowers followed immediately.
There's one more. Jordan Addison was in that realm. I think there was 4 of them that went straight in a row. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have something like that too. If some of these guys fall a little bit lower, but with the Rams having 2 first-round picks, let's take a quarterback of the future, a project pick in the 20s, and let's take a stud at 13.
Yeah, because people are, touting like Ty Simpson from Alabama being here, and it's just like I can kind of see that because everyone wants to sit under McVay, and maybe learn the system. But I think they could get him later if they really wanted to take a quarterback for the future to sit behind Matt Stafford.
Yeah, Todd McShay's been really pumping up kind of what he's hearing as far as Ty Simpson possibly going in the first. And I want to dismiss it, but all last year, listen to his podcast all last year, and he was talking about Jackson Dart sneaking into the first and talking about Tyler Shuck being a top 3 prospect above Shedeur Sanders and some of these other guys. And, look where Shuck went. He went early in the second, and he's done pretty well for himself. So I don't want to knock it because I don't like Ty Simpson as much as I liked the other 2, but it's mainly because the game's played. Like that is the biggest knock on him. He falls into the Mitch Trubisky, the Anthony Richardson, the guys that just don't have more than 15 starts.
Yeah. If Ty Simpson does go to the Rams at 13 overall or their 30th pick, 29th, 20, something like that.
29. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. If they take him there or 13th, like where do you have him in dynasty rankings? I probably still have him in the first, like a late first, just because like I'd be enticed with McVay with a quarterback.
I would be, but like I don't know what the upside looks like. I guess that's the thing. It depends what kind of team you have there at that 1-2 turn. Did you just compete for a chip and it's kind of falling off, or are you looking to run things back? Which he's not really going to help you run things back. So I think it's kind of situational for me.
But they also got to think future. I think Snead understands that just because it's like this is probably Stafford's last year. I'm thinking that. I think him and Devontae have like one last ride.
I kind of hope so, because I don't want to be going into 2027 having to fade these 2, because it's never fun. It's never fun when you like Derrick Henry. When are we going to start fading him? Like I'm not going to this year, but like we really probably should.
I think I'm doing it this year. I think I'm fading Derrick Henry. I just won't. I think he's going in like a second round again, like mid-second.
If we can get him close to that 2-3 turn, I like him more because I don't want him to be my RB1 unless I want to go wide receiver. Then he can be my RB1, but I don't want him as my second player on my team.
All right.
I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 49ers. Let's talk about this headache. This team's got about $25 million in cap space. They've got a power problem, not just between the struggle between Trent Williams and the GM, but also outside of the stadium. So Trent Williams might not be back on this team. $39 million against the cap in 2026, and they are struggling to get that restructured. Where you at with this one?
God, he is what, almost 40, right?
37. Excited to look at it too.
He's old. He's still very good. Oh boy, I think you do kind of have to let him walk, because it's unless you can kind of kick the can down the road and kind of restructure that deal. I don't know what to really do with this, because like they have a lot of the 49ers are in a weird spot, right? They got really far last year, and that was off of missing Bosa and Fred Warner. They're going to come back healthy this year. The problem is that your most reliable target on offense is going to be gone, and he's over the age of 30 with a torn Achilles. You're going to have to start really retooling this team here a little bit.
They probably should have done this a year or two ago, like done a serious retooling, but they keep getting these third and fourth place schedules, which makes them heavily viable the next year. And then it's like, well, we can't really just trade away and rebuild. And, you've got Trent Williams, who's at the end of it. Christian McCaffrey can't have too much longer, especially after the touch count. We've got George Kittle's coming off not only age 32 season, but an Achilles tear. Like, Brandon Ayuk is gone. Debo is gone. Ricky Pearsall has not fully panned out to what they wanted it to be. So it's the culmination of so much. You've got Bosa, who cannot stay healthy, constantly. He's probably getting close to that back nine of his career, and they got some issues they need to fix.
Yeah, it's so tough for this team, because it's like I think they want to keep Tonjes. He worked really well with this team. He's a free agent. He might get a bag, though. He might be one of those guys that gets overpaid from a team that has a rookie quarterback, and they just want to, fill somebody in. I would like for them to keep him. I don't know if they will. I'm sitting here thinking, like, man, like, what do they do? Like, you have here in our notes, draft Sadiq in the first, and it's like, that kind of makes sense, but they also have so many other issues where it's like, holy, I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes, and the fact that they're picking at 27, I don't know if Sadiq falls that much, but folks, we're recording this as the combine's going on Thursday, and he's probably going to make one of the biggest splashes as far as offensive pieces. Just he is that combination of big, giant, strong, fat. Like, there's just so much that he is going for him, and he fits the 49ers mold, how they use the tight end position. He can block, and he can go out there and be wild. So, like, he looks pretty similar, looks too, as far as him and George Kittle. Like, spit and image. Could be brothers, practically.
I went through some mock drafts, and I want to say went through 3 of them, Yahoo Sports and a couple other writers, and they all had him taking offensive tackle as of like recently, just because of this news. And it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Trying to see where he's at now in the mock draft database.
Sadiq?
Yeah, I imagine we talking about all these holes. Sadiq is a luxury pick at this point.
Off topic here as I'm going through this one. Cleveland Browns in this one have taken Ty Simpson in the first round. That's just hilarious.
Like, stop.
It's just so
Cleveland.
funny to me.
It's just the fact that they wasted a 3rd round pick on what's his name. Like, it's.
I don't have Sadiq in the first round in this one. I don't think. Wow. I think Sadiq might fall.
I don't see him in the first round here on their main mock draft date. Wow.
I have him here. I have him 31st to the Patriots on this one. So like he's a late first.
No. He cannot go to the Patriots.
This is your Harold Fannin all over again.
Oh, God. I'm kind of mad at myself for not being more into that Harold Fannin.
Yeah, honestly, that is pretty funny. You weren't as in and Sadiq is if you guys haven't seen him, he is a mammoth of a human being. Like he looks like a defensive end playing tight end. That's the best way to describe him.
Yeah. I love it. Bring back Debo. I've got that on here. Debo might acquire some attention in free agency, but like you guys need to bring back some weapons. And Debo on the cheap, he's familiar with the offense. I think there's a shot we could get that done.
What will their wide receiver room be? It's gonna be Ricky Pearsall, Jake Cowling, and who else? Because
end of list.
Brandon Ayuk is gone, and
Juwan Jennings is a free agent.
So they are in a weird spot too with the wide receiver room.
Yeah, it's not pretty right now. They're looking at, of course, you're not loading. They got Malik Turner, Colton Dowell, Sky Moore, Trent Taylor. So yeah, they got nobody. It's Ricky
Yeah,
Pearsall and Jacob Cowing. That's it.
I think
Demarcus
I think they'll
Robinson, but I
be.
think he's a free agency too.
Yeah, they'll be. I won't be surprised if they take a wide receiver in the first round. Actually,
Yeah. Luckily, it's kind of deep, so if they do take that tackle in the first, I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised them trading up in the second either too. John Lynch, as much as he gets praised, his draft's kind of sucked over the last several years. Like looking at his first round picks, it's like Nick Bosa, and that's it.
And he lucked into that because Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL, or else they wouldn't have even had him.
Mm-hmm. But like going back, like who they traded away Buckner to the Colts and took Kinlaw,
Who was
nothing
awful.
there. God, there was the kid they took right before Bosa that I was like, I took
The
Solomon
Stanford,
Thomas.
yeah, Solomon Thomas, because they did the trade with Trubisky and they took Solomon Thomas and he was not good. They have not done well building in the trenches.
They've lucked out. Luckily, this team is either top 10 or bottom 5.
They're very well coached. Shanahan, honestly, like when we do our coach draft, like I'm very curious to see where everyone has everybody ranked because like I'm very fond of Shanahan. So
cool. Anything else with the Niners?
no, there's a lot with them. I know we went on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm very curious to see what they do this year, how they retool.
It'll be interesting for sure. Last one we have here, it's the Cardinals, 32 mil in cap space. Drama with Kyler. I saw something recently. Kyler, I think it was his agency came out. Like he wants to be released. He wants to be hitting free agency when it opens up. I don't know if they're going to do that. They might screw him and drop him afterwards, which is kind of shitty. But got a lot of work to do here.
They just got a new coach, right? It's the
Michael Floor.
Yeah, the offensive play caller, or was the
Rams
pass game coordinator? What was he?
I think he was the OC. I don't think he was the play caller though.
But everyone knows how that is for McVay, right? He just kind of learned under McVay, and I think it's a good hire because again, I'm always under their like, is this guy coming from a good tree? Is it the Shanahan tree? Then yes, I would like my chances. So you got to be optimism there. It's the best hire they could have had. I do like keeping Kyler. I would like LaFleur and him to sit down and probably say like, hey, how can we make this work? Because like, if you get rid of Kyler, what is really your expectations for this team?
That's genuinely the hard part. And that's the biggest reason why I want him to stay is because you have multiple weapons at wide receiver. You've got probably the best tight end of the game right now. Decent running back room. You've got potential plus James Conner. This offense has top 10 potential, or it's got bottom 5 potential, depending at the quarterback position.
Yes.
Like how well is this run? Top 10 with the whole, the
with everything clicking. Yeah, I can kind of see it. Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison,
and the defense sucks, so they're going to be out there a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my biggest thing is let's keep Kyler for one more year. Tell Kyler, look, we're going to get you out of here after the season, but let's raise your draft stock so you can go to a good team, and we get something back for you. And I think it's like $50 million against the cap if they cut him.
Yeah, his contract was like fully guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken, or pretty close to it, because he signed like a $200 million extension.
It was a big one. It wasn't quite Deshaun Watson's levels of stupid, but it was up there. Yeah, and they've since then taken up the study hall provisions that he used to have. Cardinals only have about $15 million in dead cap, but like I said, with Kyler cutting into it, that would really screw their available cap space.
Are you still a Marvin believer?
I'm not out.
I'm all in this year. I think he's going to be he might be a look at potential my guy for me.
Ooh, interesting.
I did a couple best ball drafts and like where he's going, I'm just like, I think there's so much more potential here.
Very early. We're late February, but I want to get into the head of you real quick. Is Tyler Shuck on your radar for a my guy?
No.
Okay. Well, the only reason I bring that up is the last 2 years you have had a Saints player as a my guy, and they've been probably your best call.
I know.
Out of all of it. You crushed it with Olave last year, and then the year prior you had Alvin Kamara. Blew it out of the water. So I'm like, all right, he's either taking Juwan Johnson as his tight end, my guy, or it's Tyler Shuck here.
No,
you're
Deshaun
right.
Vele. Yeah.
Vele.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to take the obscure route. No, like again, like a lot of my guys are just really dependent on ADP draft. And like, I would have had Waddle as a my guy too, and that would have worked out just as well. And like you and I both discussed, like buying cheap guys that have produced at top 15 level, like I will take that all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, yep. Just curious. I started looking at some of the past stuff we hear. I'm like,
I know
he's got to be on Shuck. It's got to be Shuck this year for him.
Hampton might be a my guy again for me this year. I don't give a shit. I'm all in.
And Saints do have a 4th place schedule this year too, so
yeah, I know
they could be in contention for that division.
Yeah.
Cardinals keeping Kyler, drafting O-line, but they really don't, and then fixing the defense. I don't want them to, obviously, as fantasy players, but the rest of the offense is good.
Yeah, I'm very curious because I think people are going to be big Michael Wilson believers, and that's just fine. He's great, and is he a free agent?
I think he's got one.
No, he's got one more
left.
year. Okay, yeah. I'm. It all depends on where everything's going. My only advice for the Cardinals and like in reference to drafting him is like, I think me and Brian will both tell you like Trey McBride being the tight end 1 is great. I don't know if you and I are both going to be taking him as tight end 1 because it's just a price tag we just don't want to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's kind of. I saw somebody tweeted out the list of like Trey McBride's targets was more than like 5 active wide receivers' best career years as far as targets. Like, I just don't see that happening again. Them throwing at the volume they have, the situation of how it builds out. Love Trey McBride. I still think he probably have him charted as my number 1 tight end, but with the cost, it sounds like there's going to be a little regression there.
I think he's my number 2. I think I have Brock as 1. I think Mendoza will be fine. I think he will feed. He will take the easy dump downs, check downs, I should say, to Brock Bowers.
I don't hate it, but I want more information. I guess I want to know what this wide receiver room looks like for the Raiders. Just because traditionally
you're looking at Jack Best, Dante Thornton, and what's his nuts? Who's the other small guy? Trey Tucker.
But
that's
if they make the T. Higgins trade, AJ Brown finds his way out there, then I think it changes it because traditionally we look at rookie quarterbacks not being able to uphold a pass catcher. So asking that to be a tight end is even a bigger ask for him. So yeah. Let me see what this room looks like.
My counterpoint to that was that Desmond Ridder still made Brock Bowers a tight end 1. Ooh. Just want to throw that out there for just food for thought.
But is Mendoza as good as Desmond Ridder though? Like Desmond Ridder right now stocks shelves better than any active NFL player. Like when he goes out there, he puts the peas, puts the labels out. He has the carrots right next to the peas on the shelf. Like, is he in the NFL still?
I don't know, actually.
He's stocking shelves.
I think he's a practice squad player for sure.
Fingers crossed, man.
Yep.
Nice. Anything else with the Chargers or the Cardinals?
No, that's it.
Anything else with the West?
Chiefs won the division.
Ooh. What about the NFC?
I think the Rams.
Yeah.
I think the Seattle. I think a little bit of regression. I think the Rams make some really big moves and push the chips all in for Stafford's final season.
It came down to the final game in the regular season and the playoffs for the Rams and the Seahawks. So let me go the other direction with the Rams this year. Yeah. And Clint Kubiak's not going to be there calling plays for the Seahawks. So
exactly. Who's calling plays for them again? Is it like a protege for him? I'm assuming like someone in house.
I don't remember actually right off the top of my head. But like obviously, he's not going to be as good as Clint Kubiak, most likely.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Who knows? Watch, we're going to be eating crow here in a little bit because of that.
I know he'll be the next head coach lineup.
No shit.
Brian Fleury is the new. I don't even know who the hell he is.
He was the defensive coordinator for the Vikings last year.
Former San Francisco 49ers run game tight ends coach as their offensive coordinator.
Oh, that's Brian Flores. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Way to go.
Awesome, folks. Well, that's it. We fixed all 32 teams. We've gone north, south, east, and now west. We got it all fixed up. It's looking good.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah. What else you got for the people?
I've got nothing else. That's
all we got for you, folks.
Yeah.
We're shutting it down. He's at Too Much BMulk. I'm at Too Much _ Brian. We're looking forward to it. Like we said, we're recording this in the midst of a combine. Maybe we'll do a best ball draft tomorrow. Talk about some of the live stuff that's coming through. Maybe not. Who knows? Regardless, next week we're going to be talking about prospects. We're going to be talking about coaches. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe. We'll see y'all everywhere.
Deuces.
Later.